Good afternoon, Cedarfield. Before we begin our town hall meeting, it is my honor as chaplain manager here at Cedarfield to turn our attention to a power greater than our own. Let us pray. God of sunshine, wind, and rain, we come before you today grateful for this opportunity to have a town hall meeting where we have a chance to share our joys and even our frustrations at communal living. We ask that our conversations would be held with dignity, compassion, kindness, and respect. Amen.
Good afternoon, everybody. I love town hall meetings. Who else loves town hall meetings? Anybody? David Stewart loves town hall meetings. Sharon Brown loves town hall meetings. Lacey, do you love town hall meetings yet?
Not so much.
He's nodding. He's nodding. We've changed his mind about town hall meetings. The reason I love town hall meetings goes back 20 years. Let's backtrack. 21 years ago, I was in my early 30s. For all of you who are doing the mental math, I repeat, I was in my very, very early 30s. I had it all. I had a 4-year-old daughter who was energetic and keeping me busy. I had a tennis match with my best friend Trish 2 days a week. I had 3 dogs, a cat, and I had a phenomenal job in a retirement community that was rather large and rather well known in the north side of Richmond. Big and beautiful, but not as beautiful as Cedarfield. I also had a wonderful husband who supported me in all of my actions. The other thing I had was a baby growing in my belly. I was 4 months pregnant. So one November day, I went to my doctor for my regular checkup, and he came in and he smiled and he said, "You look great. Everything looks perfect. Your weight is perfect. Your blood pressure is perfect. The baby is healthy, but I'm putting you on bed rest." And I looked at him and I said, "Are you kidding me?" And he said, "Nope. Moving forward, you're going to be on bed rest." And at that point, everything stopped for me. Fast forward to the March 14th, 2003. At exactly 1:10 in the afternoon, my husband Scott and I welcomed a happy and healthy baby boy who weighed 7 pounds 6 ounces, and we named him Noah. Many of you know my Noah, and although he was a month early, he's strong and healthy and happy just like he was on the day he was born. One Sunday afternoon, not long after his birth, I was sitting at the dining room table with my husband, listening to Barney songs with my 4-year-old, when he was reading the paper, because that's how people got news back then. And he looked from behind the paper and he said, "Didn't you say that if you ever went back to work, you wanted to work at Cedarfield?" And I looked at him and I said, "Yes." And he said, "Honey, I think I found your dream job." On April Fool's Day, just a few weeks later, I had my first interview here at Cedarfield. I remember it vividly, not because it lasted 3 hours, which it did, but it was the first time in 6 months that I wore makeup and had to squeeze into normal clothes again. To be completely honest, I don't think my skirt zipped the whole way. It didn't matter though, because just a few weeks later, I got a call and I was officially here at Cedarfield. It was May 2nd, and I was introduced at a town hall meeting. I remember sitting on the stage and looking out at all of the smiling faces of the community and being greeted after the meeting one by people who were actually happy that I was here. And I remember going home that night and telling my husband, "You had it right, I got my dream job." All of that was completely true until about 2 weeks ago, when I returned to Cedarfield. And I was greeted by happy team members and residents, hugs and kisses, letters and notes, emails and flowers. and my heart was the fullest that it has ever been before. I knew at that time that I finally got my dream job, and it's all because of you. Thank you all. I hope that everyone has received an agenda. Our format is going to be a little bit different moving forward because we are a community. We're here to support each other through good times and bad times and to embrace each other's joy. So each meeting will start with us sharing good news. After the good news will come the meat and potatoes and everything that we need to know, and then we'll end our meeting with questions and answers. Some of the team members' faces might be new to you. Please take the time to introduce yourselves to them. I promise they won't be strangers for long. At the conclusion of each meeting, we'll stick around for one-on-one conversations and questions and answers as well. And thank you for joining us here today. First up will be a report from our marketing director, Emily Adler. Here she comes.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited to be here and to give you some updates on our office, some exciting news about our upcoming move-ins, and then, of course, to answer any questions that you have. But first, I am so thrilled to introduce to you all our brand new sales counselor as of last Monday, Logan Harden, who's right by the exit door. Logan, yes. So Logan comes to us. She had 3.5 years at Lakewood in their marketing office, so she is going to give us all the dirt on our competition. And then had a brief stint in another job, and now is here with us at Cedar Field. And I, as I'm sure you can imagine, am overjoyed to have her in the office and helping to fill our rooms and to really just grow our community, and I'm just very, very excited. So feel free to stop by and say hello to her, welcome her to Cedar Field. I'm just really thrilled that she's here. So that's Logan. I wanted to give you all an update. We have 8 new residents who are going to be joining us within the next 3 months. 5 of those move-ins are going to be happening in July, and 3 move-ins are happening in August. I'm going to give you a bunch of numbers here. I hope this is helpful to you. But we've got, of those 8 new residents, 3 of them are singles, 5 of them are couples. We've got 4 people moving into cottages, 4 people moving into apartments, and they are all, I love all of the new residents that I work with, but they are really outstanding people, and so I'm really excited for them to join us. So those are my big updates, but again, I'm here to answer any questions that you have about our department, so I'll open the floor. My favorite color is purple. Sorry. Did you have a question?
I was wondering how many vacancies do we have now?
Absolutely, great question. So we have 9 vacancies right now. That's 5 one-bedrooms. So if you all have any friends who are looking for a 1-bedroom, those have been the difficult ones for us to find new residents for. So 5 of those are 1-bedrooms. 1 is a 1-bedroom with den, and 3 of them are 2-bedrooms. So as some of you may know, we are making a change to our wait list at the end of this month. So right now, our wait list is composed of folks who are putting down $1,000 to get their name on the list. And much like many of you, I'm sure, people are putting down their $1,000 deposits all over the place: Westminster, Canterbury, Lakewood, Avery Point. And what we're going to be doing is dividing that wait list into folks who are inactive, so they're looking to move 2+ years out, and then an active wait list for folks who are looking to move within the next 2 years. So that's going to really make our process more efficient, and we're going to be able to serve a lot more of the folks on our wait list who are actively waiting to move to Cedarfield, so that we're not spending a lot of time calling folks who aren't quite ready and really prioritizing the folks who are actively waiting to move to the community. So that's going to help with our vacancies in the future. And again, that change will be made at the end of the month. Yes?
I heard a rumor that two sisters were denied admission. Is there any truth to this rumor?
The question was that there was a rumor going around that two sisters were denied admission to Cedarfield. I've been here for 10 months and I have not met two sisters who have gone through the application process with me. So as of right now, I can speak to that being a false rumor. I don't know why they would have been. We do accept sisters or folks who are not spouses who want to move in together. So I'm not sure where that rumor started, but if you all can help me put the foot down on that one, because it's just not true. But I appreciate you sharing that with me. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Next up is someone who is not a stranger to anybody. It's Sharon Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. Whew, here we go. We have two updates. Let me start over. Housekeeping will be doing a campaign on cleaning windows and carpets starting June the 15th through July 15. And if you're interested in having these items done, you can give Darlene a call in maintenance department at 804-474-8806. And also, if you like your porches to be clean, or your balcony or your patio, please give Darlene a call and we'll give you a call and set up a time and date to have that also. And there is no charge to have these things done. Also, you get your lights, fixtures, or get your patio lights cleaned and everything. Also, your windows is included cleaning your patios, anything. Any questions? Oh, thank you.
So Sharon, I need some advice. Next week, my husband and I will be in our house for 10 years. I remember the day that David pulled up in front of the house with food the day I moved in. Thank you, David. But I have probably a 20-foot, 30-foot light fixture when you walk into on my steps. I'm wondering how I should clean that. You mean you can't do that?
Very carefully.
Very carefully, that's a good answer. Okay, next up we have Tamika Ross. Let's give her a round of applause.
Well, hello everyone. I have the pleasure to announce that we did have our Medicare survey. It was on May 16th. It lasted for 2.5 days, ended on May the 18th, and we are certified with 0 deficiencies. So that's something that we've been working on since I've been here for the last 2 years, and it was a pleasure. You know, it was a great experience. I had a chance to learn a lot. The surveyors that came, we had 3. I've worked with them in the past, so I had a relationship with them already. The supervisor also joined the team, so we ended up having 4. The supervisor had a chance to spend some time with Lacey, but I think that we were well prepared, and it was a great experience. So we do have some paperwork that we're waiting on, but we foresee that possibly August the 1st is when we will start using those benefits. We will keep you guys updated if that changed, but right now that's the date that we're looking at. So yay, I'm super excited. And the team worked really hard. I just can't thank them enough. You know, Lacey, he was a big part of what we do, and he was kind of like, we were a team that were close-knit during that time. So we worked well together and we got it done. So I thank everybody that took a part of that. So I'm happy to announce that to you all. One other update, I'm currently the interim clinical leader in assisted living because that position was open. We have filled that position with Shelly Johnson. She is not new to Cedarfield. She starts on June the 21st. She's not new to Cedarfield. She used to be a nurse, and she also was a supervisor at Cedarfield at one time. She's currently overseeing a 200 bed assisted living, so I'm sure that she will be an asset here with us as well. So we're super excited for her to join the team as well. Do you all have any questions for me? Awesome, thank you.
Before I call Lauren up, I just want to share that when the inspectors left, and correct me if I'm wrong, I timed this all really well. My first day was the day after we were certified. But when the inspectors left, they said in their exit report that this was the first time that they ever did an initial survey of a Medicare community that there were no deficiencies whatsoever. That is Cedarfield, and that is Tanika and Lacey. Okay, Lauren's next. Does everybody know Lauren? Lauren, will you introduce yourself when you get up here? Great.
Okay. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Lauren Burnett, and I am the newly promoted Assisted Living Administrator for Cedarfield. I have been with the company for the past 2 years, serving as household leader over Morning Glory, which is the memory care household. So I'm very excited to step into this new role and to be able to interact with more residents across all of assisted living. So that includes both Morning Glory and Garden Grove households. So I am here today to talk to you about some renovation updates. So I'm sure you guys have been hearing over the past couple of years how we've had a major renovation project across all of health services. So we are coming to a close, or getting close to a close for that. So as of yesterday, third floor Garden Grove Assisted Living completed their renovations, and all of the residents are back in their apartments and starting to settle in. So I encourage you to walk through the household, look at the new carpets, the new paint, furniture, and of course enjoy the secret garden that is now open in that area. And then moving forward in the coming weeks, the fourth floor area of health services is having its final touches happening as far as construction goes. So that's going to be just in the next several weeks, it's going to be opening up. And what that means for us is that we have 25 brand new assisted living apartments that will be opening. So that gives us a total of about 68 apartments across all of assisted living level of care, which is great. So it expands the capacity to serve the Cedarfield residents. So we're very thrilled about that. And the leadership team will be working with individuals across Cedarfield who are interested in benefiting from the assisted living services and helping them to move into the new neighborhood in the next couple of weeks. So, needless to say, we've got a lot going on in the assisted living world, but all good things. So, excitement going around. Any questions about that? Oh, yeah.
Q&A.
Yeah, so there is a Q&A happening right here in the Fellowship Hall at 11 o'clock tomorrow for all of the residents who are interested in this new neighborhood and kind of what assisted living has to offer. So, good point. Okay, thank you. It was nice to meet you guys.
Thank you, Lauren. We actually promoted another team member at about the same time we did Lauren. Actually, Brittany, will you stand up so I can introduce you really quickly? She's not on the agenda today, but I'm sure she will be in the future sometime. Brittany Ingram Atkins is our healthcare administrator now. So now we have 2 administrators in the healthcare center. Thank you. Okay, who's up next? It looks like Lacey and Jack. You coming up? He looks a little nervous. Notice they dressed alike for their presentation today.
All right, good afternoon. I really wanted to bring Jack just to make sure I don't slip up and say the wrong thing. We have a lot going on in maintenance, so we just wanted to touch on a couple key topics that are really going to affect everybody. And then I will stay after, so if there's any questions, we'll stay after for a while to make sure everybody's question get answered if it's any specific questions. The first thing on our agenda was the active shooter training. So we talked about this before where we had a consultant that was supposed to provide the active shooter training. His wife is sick. So we've reached out to Henrico County Police Department. So they will be here next Wednesday, the 21st at 10:30 in the Fellowship Hall to conduct the active shooter training for all residents. I talked to Eddie, it is going to be recorded. We are going to archive it on the TV, so if you can't make it, we will have it provided in the future. In the Medicare process, we updated the emergency preparedness plan. So what I'd like to do, and I'm going to work with Amy now that she's here, is how we can go over the emergency preparedness and go over each policy with everybody, with all the residents, so everybody understands what we do for fire safety if there's a fire or a tornado or evacuation. So that'll be coming soon. I'm working with Amy. We'll try to figure out a schedule and a way that we can provide that training. The next on our list, Lauren talked a little bit about the construction. We have a couple things going on. The healthcare, they're scheduled to be done mid-July. In the healthcare section, that'll open up to 25 extra assisted living beds. Everybody should be seeing the second floor renovation. Hopefully that'll be done within the next couple weeks. As you go down the hallway, you'll see the big trash can. There's a leaking pipe. We're just working to try to find a contractor that can fix that. We had a contractor lined up to fix it, and they backed out. So we just need to find somebody else. We are also, the engineers, our architects are working to help finalize the town center, which includes the chapel, the gathering room, the library renovations, as well as the fellowship hall renovation. So we're working to finalize those drawings, and then construction will get started soon after. So we don't have a schedule yet, but that'll be coming soon. One of the things we want to clarify for any after-hours calls for our maintenance department. So during the day, 8 to 4:30, we have somebody here 7 days a week. We have a maintenance person here 7 days a week, and we have a maintenance person on call 24/7. During the day, if you need a maintenance request, just call Darlene at 8806, and she can make sure it gets addressed. After hours, after 4:30, if you call the concierge, is 8800, she will get in touch with maintenance. If it's the concierge can call the on-call person if they need to come in. And after the concierge leaves, that phone number gets forwarded to the security desk. So security's here 24/7, so security will be able to get in touch with the on-call person. So, and the same thing goes for other weekends. We have a maintenance person that works through the weekend if anything happens. So just want to kind of clarify that 8800 after hours should be your call if there's any problems with maintenance. The next thing I really wanted to get, this is one of the main reasons I wanted to get Jack up here, to talk about the pendants and talk about exactly how the pendants work and make sure that everybody understands. And it may have been some miscommunication on my part in the past. I apologize if I said anything wrong in the past. But the pendants are really meant to work inside. They're designed to work inside the building. So what happens if you hit your pendant, it triangulates off of the closest 3 Sarah points, and it'll triangulate where you are. That call goes to after hour, during the day it goes to nurse supervisor, after hours it goes to nurse supervisor and security, and somebody's gonna come look in that general area. So if you're walking in the atrium near the cafe and you hit the pendant, or in the dining, it'll triangulate and we'll have a really good idea the general location of where you are. Once you step outside the building, it gets a little bit trickier to try to triangulate because it's picking up points in the building. It works off Wi-Fi, so obviously, the farther you get away from these Sarah points, the harder it's going to be to read. So just know that the nurse supervisor and security, everybody's coming to try to find that point, but like I said, it works better in the building. So. And again, if anybody has any questions, we can kind of clarify that, and we'll be here afterwards to, Jack can kind of help with that. The Atrium Cafe air conditioning, that was a little bit of another hiccup. I think it's our luck. We started air conditioning for the cafe, for the dining, and Monday morning, they stopped we had to stop the project because the contractor had brought the wrong air conditioning unit in. So they had ordered the wrong air conditioning, and they were going to try to get it installed when we stopped, and we want the right unit put in. So we kind of put that project on hold. They've ordered the right unit. I've gotten the specs for the right unit. They've ordered the right unit. We've asked them to try to expedite the delivery. But again, and we're trying to, and that's why I want to kind of turn that over. So the process is, it's still going to take a couple weeks. It could take upwards of 6 to 8 weeks to get the new unit in. Something that we tried to prevent, and the contractor kind of let us down on this one. But I wanted to kind of lead that into David to kind of try to go over exactly what is our process moving forward now with the Atrium Cafe, and how we're going to try to open it back up, and what we're going to try to provide during the while we're waiting on the air conditioning. Yep.
What compensation are they going to give us, or why don't they get in their truck and go and pick up the one that will fit in there?
So the question is, for the contractor, what compensation can they provide, and can they get in their truck and go pick up the unit? I was on the phone with them all day yesterday and most of the day on Monday. They did find a unit in Atlanta, but it was a smaller size. So the idea is, we want to do this correctly. We want to put the right unit in. We want to make sure it provides adequate air conditioning for the space. So we did not want to let them put the wrong unit in. It's going to be undersized. So he's looking, and the contractor's looking. I actually had a couple text messages back and forth with them this morning. So we're trying to get it as soon as possible.
What is the status of the EV charging stations?
The status of the charging stations. What is the status of the charging stations? So we are moving forward with putting the charging stations in. So we did not talk about the generator for D-Wing, but that's moving forward. We have proposal has been received by the electrical contractor, so we're ready to review it with Amy and kind of move forward. The charging station is going to be kind of at the back end of the generator. It's going to require a new electrical panel to support the charging station. So we're going to run all the infrastructure for that. At the same time, we do the generator. I think we've selected a brand that we're going to use. It's called ChargePoint. It's a slow charging charge station. I think 100% is after, I think it's 4 to 6 hours. It's similar to the same unit we're using at Windsor Mead, and kind of around the community. There's a lot of these ChargePoint charge stations. So hopefully, I really don't want to give a time frame, but I would think by the fall this should be installed. Late fall. Okay, yeah, so thank you. Yeah, so the question is the status of the fobs, especially at the main entrance, but just the status of the fobs in general. So the fob system, and Jack can correct me if I speak incorrectly, so good thing he's here. The system, I think it's 2 or 3 different systems the building has. So we're working with the Pinnacle Living IT folks. They kind of manage and maintain the system. We're working with them to put a whole new system in. So we've actually applied for it through the last year's budget and we got approved. So we're just waiting on the budget office to give us the final approval and then get a whole new system put in. I don't know what the schedule for that is going to be. It'll be installed within a month of after we get the approval and get the final contract set up with the vendor. So, and I guess, and to step back a little bit, I know the front entrance, the fob, the idea was let's hold off on the, I think it was around $3,000 to get that card, that fob card reader access and make it work, but it's on the old system. And the idea is we want to upgrade everything to the new system. So that's why it's taking so long.
David's going to talk a little bit more about the atrium, but I want to go back to pendants just for a second because it's really important. How many of you wear pendants? Not many. Okay. Know that your pendants are there to help you, but they're also there to help a neighbor or a friend who might not be wearing one. So if you are with somebody who happens to fall or needs help and you press your pendant, somebody is going to come respond to you wherever you are. So that could be used to help someone else who might not be wearing their pendant. The other thing to keep in mind is that we have pull cords in rooms like this, the fitness room and other areas around the building. If somebody needs help immediately, pull that pull cord because it will notify our nursing staff and our security staff of exactly where that pull cord was pulled. And even if someone fell in the hallway or at the concierge desk, you know that someone is going to come in this direction and you can flag them down and say that somebody needs help, okay? Next up is David Stewart. I know that everybody in the room knows David, and he's going to talk a little bit more about the Atrium Cafe and what we're going to do to help make these next 6 to 8 weeks go by a little bit more quickly for you.
Good afternoon, I'm David Stewart from Dining Services. I'm not retired. My last day was last Friday. I think I get double pay now. I'm not sure.
We'll work on that.
We're working on the double pay thing. Okay. I actually wanted to stay around a while longer so Amy could get on board and select my replacement. So I'm still here. You're stuck with me for a little while. So Atrium Cafe, we do not want to keep that closed for 2 months. The heat down there is more than the staff can tolerate when the cooking equipment is on. It's not safe. And so what we're going to try to do, and I think it's a really good idea, is to get through the time frame until we can get the replacement HVAC unit, which I think has to be manufactured. I don't think it's a matter of somebody driving to get one. I don't think there's one available. Is we're going to go to a cold menu. So we're going to reopen the cafe next Monday, and we'll have our service team there, and we'll develop a menu of sandwiches and salads and things like that, and get it reopened, and then we'll try to work through getting the replacement unit sent to us as quickly as possible. So as we get open, let us know what you'd like to see and what you're enjoying and not, and the team will work on that. So that's our interim plan. We really thought we had a great idea here when we scheduled this work to be done. And also during that time, some of the team members who work in the cafe had scheduled their vacation, said, well, why don't I just take my vacation at that time? So this really tripped us up, but we'll get through it. The other thing I wanted to mention, with respect to dining is that we are in the midst. I just came from a meeting where we're working through implementation of a new point of sale computer system. Ours is, in computer terms, about 100 years old and pretty much not functional. So we have a new system that we're bringing on. We know it's going to work well for us because Windsor Mead has been using the system for 2 years and had really, really good results with it. So we're working through that right now. One of the little caveats with our new system is that you're going to be issued by dining services, one of those little tags like you use at Kroger and CVS and all those, has a barcode on it. And I'm telling everybody at every town meeting, you need to bring that with you because that's how we're going to check you in for meals. It's essential that you get used to bringing those again. We cannot, my team does not do a good job of identifying Mr. Smith from Mrs. Smith from the other Smith, and so we've got too many challenges for the young servers to try to remember who you are and get things billed correctly. So when you are issued those fobs by dining, they'll be connected to your account, and when the hostesses seat you, they'll check your fob in, and everything will be glorious from then on. So I apologize. I know that's a change that you don't have to carry that with you, but that will be really essential for us moving forward, for us to make this system work quickly and accurately. So anyway, that's there's a lot going on in dining, all good stuff. We have 9 people in orientation today. I don't know what happened in the world, but we've just hit this sweet spot where we're getting really good people, really good applicants, and we're able to hire them. And so the outlook is rosy at the moment for getting new team members in. And they all showed up, by the way. Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, any questions for me at this moment? Yes, several. Ma'am?
Just a question about breakfast items in the atrium.
Yes, good question. Thank you. I hadn't mentioned that. What we will do for breakfast is we will... Oh yeah, hot diggity. Thank you. Breakfast items in the cafe. Yeah. What we'll do, at least initially, is cook some eggs and bacon in the main kitchen, transport it down there in the morning, and have toast available. We will not be able to cook anything. We won't be able to cook eggs or anything down there. We won't be able to turn the oven on and cook anything down there. So we will have breakfast available, but it won't be too awfully much. If there's anything we can prepare in the main kitchen and transport down, we'll certainly be open to those suggestions, but we want to get it open 3 meals a day.
I was wondering, since you do serve soup.
No, here's a microphone. Just do everything.
In the atrium, is it possible that you could
Hold it closer to your mouth. Push that. Yep.
Is that all right? Since you're serving soup,
I'll repeat it. I can hear you.
He wants to know about soup.
since you're serving soup in the atrium, is it possible that you could have stews or something else that could be brought down from upstairs other than cold sandwiches?
The question is, in that we're keeping soup warm in the atrium, is it possible we could bring some entree or some other hot items down? We discussed that, and to put entrees in the cafe, we'd need to turn on what's called a steam table. It's got water in it, and it throws a lot of heat. And so what we're trying to do to make it so the team members can tolerate it back there, because we don't even know if we not turning on cooking equipment, it may still well get to 95 or 100 back there. So what we're honestly trying to do is turn as little equipment on as possible. It's a really good question. If we find the temperatures are not bad back there, we may see what else we can offer. Let's get it open and see what we can do. But we did have that very conversation about cook the entrees in the kitchen, bring them on down, but the advice was that steam table is really going to put it over the top.
Would it be possible to have the breakfast served upstairs?
Would it be possible to have the breakfast served upstairs? That's a good question. Let me cogitate on that one. Yeah, let me see about that. The interesting thing about breakfast is there's so few people who partake in breakfast. Okay, let me think on that one. It's a good suggestion. Yes, Ann Williams.
I know the atrium. The atrium is currently serving some food from 11 to 5. Do people know about it?
Yes, we announced it and we shoved memos in everybody's box. It's on TV and we put a memo in everybody's box that there would be food served there from 11 to 5. And we'll continue with that practice when Krupp and I will develop a memo tomorrow and put it on TV and shove the boxes again about this new change.
And TV being 974, not just 973.
Okay, 974 as well. Yes?
Supposedly, some people in assisted living did not get notified of the cafe closing. That's what they said.
The statement was some people in assisted living did not know that the cafe closed. So we'll make sure that the leadership of the households are aware of the changes as well. Noted?
She gave you the thumbs up.
Okay. If you say anything to Steve, his response is always heard. All right. Good suggestions. Yeah? Any other questions? I don't want to hog the meeting. I'll be here afterwards. So, we got us a curveball, people. If you lived at Cedarfield for any period of time, you know we're full of curveballs here. You'll hit rock where you don't expect it, you'll hit water where you don't expect it, and you'll hit a Comcast line where you should expect it. That was for you.
Thank you, David. Stephanie's next from HR.
Hello, everyone. So just wanted to talk to everyone about our openings today. We have 7 full-time openings. We've come a long way. We have a RN clinical leader up in health services, 1 full-time CNA, fitness instructor, volunteer coordinator, 1 dining manager, 1 director of dining, 1 associate executive director, and then we have some part-time positions, primarily CNAs and RN supervisor every other weekend. So those are the openings we currently have. We are agency free. Yay, Tamika and the health services team have done a great job of being agency free. We've been agency free since February. So yay. And what that means is that we're not pulling any outside staff for our clinical team. We're using our internal staff and our PRN staff to fill those needs. So, holiday changes. Pinnacle Living has added 2 new holidays for team members. They are now Juneteenth, which is next Monday, June 19th, and Martin Luther King Day. So we are now required to be off on those holidays unless we are typically have an event or a program or health services, and of course dining team members and maintenance on-call team members as well. So just wanted to mention that to everyone. So if you're not able to reach some staff, it might be because that's our holiday off and we're being required to be off at this time. That's all I have. Any questions? Yes, the question was, did we increase the number of holidays? Yes, we went from 6 holidays to 8 holidays. Any other questions?
So just a little background information about that. About a year ago, Pinnacle Living met with team members in all of the communities and asked for input about time off and holidays and vacation. And since I've been here for the last 20 years, we had something that was called PAL time. And what PAL time was a combination of your sick time and your vacation time together. And you were able to take, it was a combination of your vacation time and your holidays together. And you were allowed to take whichever holidays you wanted, and the ones that you didn't want to take, you could save up those hours and use them for your kid's birthday or for an extra day on a trip somewhere. We went back to a system that more people understand called PTO, paid time off. And what that change meant was that our team members now have holidays that they didn't have before. So you will probably not see as many of us around on holidays, like Stephanie said, unless there's a special event or you're required to be here by the job that you do. Okay, David, next.
I have cake.
Did you bring enough for everyone?
I did not. But it's for sale in the gift shop. And they just came in today.
Sold out.
We bought dozens of them and we sold out today. These are the last two. This is cinnamon and triple chocolate. But I'm not here to talk about that. Yes. Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. I'm David from the business office. A couple of announcements about the business office. I know you are all eagerly awaiting the bondholder statements. There's one or two, I'm sure. They will come out, they're scheduled to come out on August 15th. We are in the middle of our annual audit, so the actual audited version of it will be a little bit longer. It's scheduled for October 15th. We are coming up on Juneteenth, which is Monday. So the business office, we usually close our door and hide and work. We're going to try to take off this time, so we're scheduled to take off. Also with the business office comes shipping and receiving. Benji, we call shipping and receiving. He's going to work on Monday, which is kind of a relief to me. So we'll get things throughout the building. He delivers medical supplies to healthcare and assisted living, and also whatever comes in from the loading dock, your Amazon packages, everything else that goes through the building. So he will be here on Monday. The gift shop will be closed on Monday. Is that right? But I did want to tell you, are we getting more cakes? Are we getting more cakes? We're getting more cakes. Okay. So these are Cakes by Jen. They're made locally, sometimes delivered the same day that they're made, I'm told, by a family member. And they're delicious. And I've got two. The last two. Anybody want to volunteer in the gift shop or sign up for a cake? Anyone? All right, I need to get these things away. You've seen me. I can't go home and eat both of these. All right, who can tell me how many tenths are in June? Use your fingers. How many tenths are in June? There's no 11-teen, there's no 12-teen.
7.
7? Raise your hand. All right.
We have a winner! Do you have another question for this one, or you can eat this one? David's gonna eat this one.
Sure?
Yes, it's all yours.
No volunteers? Volunteer?
No.
No. Question.
What are you doing about dining on Monday? Is the dining room going to be closed?
No, dining room is open Monday, regular service, correct?
Regular service.
Regular service on Monday, dining will be open normal hours. Good question. Okay,
Is that it?
that's it, thank
Okay.
you. Miss Williams, here she is, will now give us our council report or update or whatever information she'd like to share with us.
First of all, council is delighted to have you with us, Amy. Thank you so much. And council gets its work done through its committees. Just this week, we've had facilities, welcoming, communications, and healthcare. So it's only partway through Wednesday, and we've had at least 4 of the committees have been hard at work. Welcoming had a good session yesterday with several new residents, and we're glad to have them here at Cedar Field. 2 of them have already signed up to work on committees. One is on the safety committee, and one has joined the healthcare committee, which met today. The facilities committee met yesterday and heard all kinds of updates. So thank you, Lacey, for all of those. Communications met, and they are hard at work with all kinds of good things going on with communications. Healthcare met today, and they deserve a star. They won the only 2 innovation grants that were awarded, so congratulations to them. They are hard at work, but planning other programs to put on for all residents. And they also are very excited with the hard work done by Tamika and her staff and Lacey and his staff in getting the Medicare certification. We're just waiting for the number. The paperwork has not yet caught up with us. Our next meeting will be the end of the month, 4th Wednesday at 2 o'clock, and I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you, Amy.
I have 3 more quick announcements, and then I realized that I was so excited to be here, I forgot to share good news with everybody. So we'll have to go back to that. First of all, many of you may have received an email, a text message, or a phone call from a company called We Care Connect. Anybody in the room receive those calls yet? We Care Connect is a company that we contract with to do satisfaction surveys of residents. So when you move in, and I don't know how many of you are new in the room, within your first 30 days, you'll get a contact from We Care Connect. They'll try you by phone, they'll try you by email, and they will try you by text message. If they cannot get a hold of you, you're going to get a call, probably from me, asking you the same questions that the survey would have asked. If you see a number on your cell phone that says We Care Connect, that's who it is. I know many people don't pick up phones unless they know who it is, but that's something that's going to be scheduled for all new residents moving in. In addition to that, we have decided to use the same service for our yearly surveys. For those of you who have lived here for over 2 or 3 years, you know that we used to contract with a company called Toleran that used to do surveys. And we listened to what the residents said. They were not thrilled with that survey process and asked us to at least investigate doing another survey process. So in this case, if you moved in the month of June, you will probably be getting contacted by We Care Connect because it's the month of June. We'll do the same thing moving forward every year during your anniversary month. So if you moved in March, you'll get a call in March. If you moved in September, you'll get a call or a contact in the month of September. Any questions about We Care Connect? Okay. The other thing I wanted to do is share an update on the 3 vacant positions on our leadership team. The dining director, David's back out of retirement, which we will enjoy, but we are actively looking for a new dining director. Our interviews will start later this week. We've identified a few candidates, and I will use, of course, the dining committee to help in that selection process once we narrow down candidates that we think would meet the needs of the community. The second position is our associate executive director position. We also are advertising for that. We've gotten a lot of applications for that position, and I'm going through those right now. And 2, once we decide on that position, along with the help of our team, we'll look to our Health Services Committee to help in that decision process. And lastly, the Director of Philanthropy position is open as well. We're going to put that on hold for just a few months until we get some of the other positions filled and establish our team, but that will be definitely something we'll be looking to move forward with in the near future as well. Any questions? Okay, let's get to the good news. Who has good news in the room? It doesn't have to be huge. It's June. Anybody have a wedding planned that they're going to? Grandchildren? We got one in the back. Okay, wait for it. We want to hear about it. So let's wait for Carol. She's going to get you a microphone.
We have an anniversary.
An anniversary. How many years?
56.
56 years. Woo! Any other good news? I saw a hand in the back. I don't think that microphone's working. Do we have another one?
66 years.
66 years. Amazing. Any other anniversaries? A few more.
63.
63. So if you add all of those up, 184, something like that. Another good news on this side of the room. Is it another anniversary? 60 years. That is amazing. Okay, how about any June birthdays? Any significant June birthdays? Mr. Rucker, when's your birthday? When is it?
18.
The 18th. There's a couple over there too.
26.
26.
26.
26. Ooh, twinsies. Tomorrow's actually Tamika's birthday. I know she's going to hate me for saying that. She's going to be 21. David wants to sing. I think we'll pass on that.
Good news.
Good news.
If you drive in here late at night, the lights out front are on the flags. For 2 or 3 years, we spent all that money putting the lights in, and they didn't illuminate the flags at night. Thank you, Ann Williams, or somebody.
Lacey and your team, thank you.
So now we can see our flags at night, and it's what we should have done years ago.
We're glad that that's working. Any other good news? Jacqueline Chaplin has some good news.
The containers are gone from.
They are. They left yesterday. The containers from the Parkview entrance are gone. See, it takes so little to make us happy at Cedarfield.
2 phenomenal.
1 second. Go ahead.
2 phenomenal concerts. One, Ann James and her friend Sally Irwin yesterday, and a Flag Day patriotic sing-along this morning.
Good. Great. Those are good things to share. Anything else? It doesn't take much. My good news for today are my Yankees beat the Mets yesterday. It was a tight game there. I sweated it out the last couple of innings, but the Yankees won. They do have a replay of that game tonight. It's the Subway Series, if anybody's interested. Mr. Bingley will be watching, right? He said yes. Any other good news? Are there any other questions for me or anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
I forgot. Dave, can you give us an update on the possibility of being able to order online our dinner? We can do it from McDonald's. We can do it for all fast food. Why not here? We can do it now for maintenance requests.
As we move boldly into the 20th century with our IT, our new point-of-sale computer system, on which I just came in from a meeting, supposedly has that as a component. Yes, so cross your fingers. We've been lied to before. Yes. And Charlie Brown thought that, Lucy would hold the football too, but she never does. So, yes, it's supposed to be part of the new program.
Thank you.
The good news is, whether you order online or not, our food is better than McDonald's.
No question.
Or I'm not going to say that one out loud, but yes, it's true. Okay, thank you all for joining us today. The directors will hang around in case you have any questions. So glad to see such a great turnout. Have a wonderful day.